Right, so here I have a screenshot of me attempting to render an animation of mine. As you can see, we're 3 minutes into the process and we're only 48 samples done out of about 2,000, and 2,000 samples isn't even really that much. So today I'm going to show you how to optimize your render so you can go about 30 to possibly 60 times faster when rendering. First thing you want to do is you want to go to the drop down menu in the rendering area and you want to change it to GPU compute. This means that it'll be using your rendering card if you have one to help render the scene. You then want to go to Edit, Preferences, and then go to System. At the top you want to click Optics and select both boxes to use maximum power when rendering. Next thing you want to do after that, you want to go down to Performance, Acceleration Structure, and you want to make sure that Use Curves BVH is enabled. Next thing you want to do is go to the Sample section and do the drop down menu. You'll see something called Noise Threshold. By default this will be turned off and it should be turned to 0.01. I suggest you turn this just to 1 to 10x it. And here's an example of what it actually looks like. As you can see, it doesn't really change anything. The next thing is with maximum samples. Now, samples are essentially the quality grade of how an image is rendered. The less samples there are, the less rays are taken. However, when samples are taken, it's exponential. So the space between 50 samples to 70 samples will take longer than, say, from 2,000 samples to 3,000. So I'd suggest you keep your samples from about 2 to 3,000 is what I'd personally go for. Next thing you want to do is click the denoise menu and make sure it's sent to open image denoise. This means that once your image is done, it will get rid of all the fuzzy TV static looking white stuff and smooth it out nicely. Once you've done that, you want to drop down to the output menu. And this next step is super important. When you're exporting, make sure to go to the output section. Save it wherever you want. I'm just going to do desktop, I guess. Down here there's a thing called file format, and if you select PNG, it will render your animation but give you the photos for it, which is super annoying. So you want to make sure that it's changed to AVI RAW files. This means that when it's output, it will be put straight into a RAW video that you can upload straight to the Google Classroom. Once again, back in the Format tab, you'll always want to make sure to go from 60 FPS to something like 30 or 24. This essentially means you have to render less frames for the amount of time that is output. Next up, you want to go down to light paths and max bounces. A bounce is essentially ray tracing for Blender. Each light path has a certain amount of bounces before it reaches the camera. So higher bounces give more realism and lower bounces give more efficiency. Now, unless you're really going for photorealism, it's not really necessary to have it for more than 10, or maybe you have 2 mirrors lined up, maybe then it's worth more than 10. For me, I'm just going to say 8 because that's about 50% less work for it to do during the render, which is quite a significant change for such an unnoticeable difference. Okay, so post commentary here. Turns out when you're rendering something, your mic kind of freaks out when you're recording. Anyway, essentially what I'm doing now is I'm showing you a render to show you how much faster it was than before. Keep in mind, before it took about 3 minutes to get 48 samples. Meanwhile, while I've been talking, we've already gone to about 30 samples and it's been about 19 seconds. Due to how samples increase over time, once we reach about 100 samples, it will really start accelerating. And there we have a fully finished high quality image. So if you left your computer on rendering your animation for about 10 hours, let's say overnight, if it took 44 seconds to make one frame, you could get about 40 seconds of animation rendered in one night. 40 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but given that's about 900 frames, it should suffice for any project you are working on. I hope this video sped up your process. I hope I helped you a little, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can either put them in the comment section or you can message me on Discord if you have me added there. Thank you for watching, and I wish you luck.